Neck stiffness and sudden dizziness are among the most frightening and misunderstood challenges seniors face after the age of 60. When space in the neck quietly narrows and nerves become compressed, the brain begins receiving distorted signals, leaving tens of millions of seniors worldwide feeling unsteady even while sitting still. Now, hear me out. Research published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy shows that older adults with limited neck mobility have up to a 40% higher risk of persistent dizziness and balance-related falls, even when inner ear tests appear normal, because nerve signaling and blood flow between the neck and brain become mechanically disrupted, the same disruptions that can increase stroke risk over time. But there is hope. In this episode, Japan's oldest doctor will show you a proven exercise sequence containing 9 30-second movements you can do safely at home to decompress nerves and restore communication between your neck and brain. And if you stay with us this episode, your nervous system will be calmed, blood flow to your brain will be improved, and you'll be taking a simple practical step toward reducing stroke risk, helping you feel more balanced straight away. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where East meets West to help you stay steady, clear, and independent. Today, we explore why nerve compression in the neck becomes so common after 60, how it quietly fuels dizziness and fear of falling, and most importantly, the exact 30-second exercises that begin correcting it without strain. And to guide us through is Japan's oldest physician doctor. Please tell us why this episode matters so much. Thank you, John. This is one of the most important episodes we have done because what happens in the neck quietly determines how safe the brain feels in space. When the tension and compression build, the brain loses confidence in balance. This risk grows slowly and is often dismissed as aging until one moment of dizziness suddenly changes how a senior moves through the day. That's exactly what I hear from my patients. So before we begin, please comment if turning your head has ever made you feel dizzy, or if you feel your neck is stiffer than it's supposed to be. Now, doctor, if the ears and scans look normal, what is really happening in the neck that makes dizziness appear so suddenly after 60? Well, let me explain it in a way seniors can feel. The neck is not just holding the head upright. It is constantly feeding the brain information about position, movement, and safety. After 60, tight muscles, shortened posture, and small joint changes quietly reduce space around nerves and vessels. The brain does not receive clear messages anymore, so it reacts with caution, and that caution is what seniors experience as dizziness. That explains why reassurance alone never settles the fear. My patients say the tests look fine, but their bodies still feel unsure, especially when they turn or look up. Yes, and that uncertainty is exhausting. The key here is that this is not sudden damage. It is gradual compression that builds so slowly. Seniors adapt without noticing. One day the system reaches a tipping point and the brain says something is not adding up. That is when dizziness appears, often without pain, warning, or clear course. So what you are describing sounds less like decline and more like miscommunication that has been growing quietly. Exactly. But when we change how we move the neck, even briefly, the brain often responds faster than seniors expect. That makes me curious because it suggests the solution is not force or stretching harder. How does creating space rather than pulling on the neck change those signals enough to calm the brain? Good question. When the neck feels pulled, the brain doesn't feel helped. It feels like a warning. For many seniors, stretching sends the message that something might snap or go wrong. Creating space sends a very different message. It tells the brain there is room again. That explains so much of what I see in clinic. Patients tell me they tried stretching, but afterward they felt tighter or more guarded than before. Yes. And that reaction is the body doing its job. The nervous system is not judging flexibility. It is asking one question: am I safe right now? Slow, lengthening movements answer that question in a way force never can. So it is less about how far the neck goes, and more about how the movement is interpreted. Yes, that's it. Seniors are often told to push through stiffness, but the body does not respond well to being pushed. When you give it space instead, it often releases on its own. Therefore, Today's exercise is perfect. That feels like a completely different way of thinking about neck care after 60. It is, and it simplifies things. The goal is not to fix the neck. It is to let the brain feel comfortable again inside it. Even a few seconds of length can soften compression and change how balance signals are handled. I cannot wait to hear about the first exercise, doctor. Good, because the first exercise is meant to be felt, not rushed. It is small, but it introduces the idea of space in a way the body understands immediately. The word is yours, doctor. What is the very first motion that helps them feel that sense of space without straining anything? We begin even simpler than most people expect. I ask seniors to sit comfortably and imagine the crown of the head gently floating upward. Before changing anything, they slowly turn the head to the left, then return to center, and then to the right. We do this about 3 slow turns each way, moving only as far as feels comfortable, stopping well before discomfort. Note that this is not a stretch. It is just noticing how each side feels. That already sounds different from what most seniors are used to hearing. They usually think they need to push or stretch hard to feel something meaningful. Yes, and that is where trouble often starts. This first movement is not about fixing anything. It is about letting the brain sense symmetry and difference side to side while the neck snorts, stays tall and relaxed. And when rotation is slow and controlled, the nervous system stays calm instead of guarded. So the motion itself becomes information, not a stretch. Exactly. And once that awareness is there, we introduce space. Instead of dropping the ear toward the shoulder, seniors slowly lift one ear upward as if lengthening the side of the neck. They return gently to center, and pause. We do this 3 to 4 times on each side, keeping the movement small, lifted, and pain-free. That pause back at center feels important here too. It is pausing for a breath, lets the nervous system register the space that was just created. One side, then the other. Always slow, never pulled. Seniors are not chasing a stretch. They are teaching the neck how to feel longer. That makes the movement feel much more approachable for someone who is nervous about pain. And once that sense of length is felt on the sides, something interesting happens. Many seniors realize they have been compressing the neck in other directions as well without noticing. That awareness prepares them for the next movement where the same idea of length and space applies as they begin looking up and down without crunching the neck. So now that seniors have felt space side to side, how does that same idea of length apply when they begin looking up and down without compressing the neck? Okay, so for this next exercise is where I ask seniors to slow down before the head moves at all. The first cue is to feel a little taller. When looking down, they gently draw the chin inward and lower the head, just a small amount, keeping the back of the neck long. When looking up, the movement stays just as small with the same focus on length instead of crunching. That explains why I see so much tension when people lift their chin too quickly. Exactly. Effort is what shortens the neck. We move slowly about 3 to 5 times up and down, taking a few seconds each way. The range stays comfortable and the neck remains long the entire time. So it is not about how far they look. No, it is about continuity. When the neck stays long through the movement, nerves and blood vessels are not pinched at the extremes. That steadiness helps the brain stay calm, which, snorts, is why dizziness is often not triggered when this is done correctly. And seniors tend to feel that calm right away. They do, and once that calm is there, it prepares them for the next movement, which addresses the forward head posture many develop over years of daily habits. That's something I see again and again. Once that calm shows up, people start noticing how their head naturally sits during the day, especially when they're not thinking about it. So, what does the next exercise look like? Let me explain it in a way everyone recognizes immediately. Throughout the day, the head slowly drifts forward from reading, phones, driving, or television. That forward position shortens the back of the neck and quietly compresses nerves. This movement teaches the head how to glide back into alignment without force. That feels very real because I see that posture everywhere, Even in active seniors, most do not realize how far forward their head has crept over the years. Exactly. To do this, I ask seniors to keep their eyes level and gently draw the head straight back as if sliding it over the spine, not tipping it up or down. The movement is small. They glide back, pause briefly, then return to neutral. We do this about 3 to 5 slow times. That helps explain why the movement feels relieving instead of tiring. Yes. And this is supported by research. A large study from Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital found that forward head posture significantly increases strain on cervical nerves and alters balance signals in adults over 60, even without pain. When seniors gently glide the head back, that strain decreases and the brain reads position more clearly. It sounds like the glide is teaching the body something it forgot. It is. And once seniors feel the backward glide, they often notice how often they live in the forward position without realizing it. That awareness is important because it makes the body ready to explore movement in other directions without strain. Movements in other directions. So, what exercise is next in this sequence? The next exercise is what we call the side-to-side head glide, where the head moves left and right without turning. This movement often feels unfamiliar, and that's normal. Gliding side to side asks small neck muscles to coordinate precisely. Snorts. After years of guarding, what feels awkward is usually hesitation, not damage. I hear that a lot. Seniors tell me one side feels slower or blocked. Exactly. And that difference matters. A Japanese study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science found that older adults with reduced side-to-side neck glide were nearly twice as likely to show impaired balance awareness, even when strength was preserved. When the head glides gently side to side, staying level, the brain starts mapping symmetry again. So, how do you guide them through it? I ask seniors to sit tall, keep the eyes level and looking forward, and keep the head upright. The head does not turn. The jaw gently leads as the head glides to one side, returns to center, then to the other. We move slowly 3 to 5 times each way with a brief pause at center. The total time is about 30 seconds. Smoothness matters more than range. That makes me think about tension hiding in places people don't expect. And that's often the case. When this glide feels restricted, another area is usually holding tension. Addressing it often makes the neck move more freely without effort. So, let's look at the next exercise. Yes, I am wondering where this hidden tension usually comes from. And what do you have seniors do next? Well, that tension almost always lives in the jaw. Many seniors clench without realizing it, especially when they feel anxious, focused, or unsteady, because the jaw and neck share nerve pathways. Tension there quietly pulls on the neck all day long. That lands immediately for me. I see jaw clenching all the time when patients talk about balance or fear of falling. So what can they do about it? This is why the jaw glide exercise is so gentle. I ask seniors to keep the face soft and let the jaw drift slowly to one side. Then return to center. Nothing is forced. The mouth stays relaxed. We do this 3 to 5 times each, moving slowly for about 30 seconds total. It sounds almost too simple, but I can imagine how relieving that feels, especially for seniors who hold stress in their face without noticing. Exactly. And once the jaw begins to soften, the neck often follows. Many seniors feel the head move more freely almost immediately, even though they never touch the neck directly. That connection between the jaw and the neck is something most people have never been told, and that is the moment to pause. When the jaw releases, the brain often realizes it has been overprotecting the neck. That shift creates a sense of safety, which is important before moving into larger motions. Larger motions. So how do you guide seniors forward from there without bringing that guarding response back? John, this is where we begin reintroducing circular movement, but only halfway. I call it the front half neck circle. Seniors are not rolling the head all the way around. We stay in the front where the brain feels safest. That already sounds reassuring because full circles can feel intimidating for a lot of people. Exactly. Safety comes first. I ask seniors to start by lifting one ear slightly to feel tall. From there, they gently drop the chin toward clears throat, the chest, keeping the neck long, and then lift the opposite ear to return upright. That completes one half circle. So, it's lift down, lift again. Yes. And the cues stay the same every time. Lift the ear to get tall, chin to chest, lift the air again. We move slowly, alternating directions each repetition, usually 3 to 4 times total. The whole sequence takes about 30 seconds. I like that it keeps reinforcing length instead of collapse. That's the purpose. The movement teaches the brain that it can pass through the front of the neck without compression. When seniors alternate directions, the nervous system stays curious instead of guarded. I imagine that makes circular movement feel less threatening. Many seniors are surprised by how comfortable this feels compared to full circles. And once the front half feels smooth and calm, the body is often ready to explore the rest of the circle with much more confidence. Okay? So once the front half feels smooth and calm, how does the full circle exercise look? This is where we gently connect everything together. I ask seniors to move through a full neck circle very slowly, keeping the same idea of length the entire time. Nothing is rushed. The head stays heavy, but the neck stays tall. That's usually the movement people are most cautious about, and that's why the cues matter. As they move through the circle, I guide them step by step. Lift the ear to feel tall. Let the chin come gently toward the chest. Lift the ear again as they pass through the side. Then look up just a small amount, keeping the back of the neck long. The focus is always on staying tall, never collapsing. So it's not one continuous roll without awareness. Exactly. The cues repeat throughout the circle. Lift the air, chin to chest. Lift the air, look up. We usually move through one slow circle in one direction, taking about 15 seconds, then pause briefly and repeat the same movement in the opposite direction. That keeps things balanced. Yes, same movement, same cues, just the other way. The full sequence takes about 30 seconds. Seniors are not trying to go farther. They are letting the brain experience smooth, supported motion in every direction. I imagine that feels very different from how most people have tried neck circles in the past. It does. When length stays present, the circle feels calm instead of threatening. Many seniors are surprised by how natural it feels once snorts. The nervous system trusts the movement again. That always leads to the same question from seniors. How often should they do this, and what should they expect to notice? For most seniors, once a day is enough. The full sequence takes only a few minutes and the focus is consistency, not pushing or repeating. That's reassuring because many people worry they need to do more to see results. That worry often slows progress. In the first few days, the changes are subtle. Turning the head feels easier. Standing feels a little steadier. As the brain feels safer, the body moves with less hesitation. Those small shifts add up over time. So it's not about forcing change. No, this works best when it becomes part of daily life. Not something to push through, but something the body begins to expect. That makes me think about habit. How do seniors keep this going without overthinking it? The body learns through rhythm, not reminders. When these movements are tied to a familiar moment in the day, they happen naturally, and the neck begins to hold onto that sense of space. That's a great place to leave it. To everyone listening, try to stay consistent and give yourself time. And if this was helpful, watch again, like the video, and support the channel by subscribing. Oh, and watch this next video right now. Yes, please. We've picked this one especially for you.